Is your counterpart actually doing well, given that there's no contact between you right now? The breakup, the situation he's in, and was it the right decision for him? Or maybe you were the one who made the decision? How is he feeling? How is he doing now in this situation? As I said, breakup, withdrawal. Does he feel comfortable with that? These are really always the kinds of questions that come up almost daily, even in my personal readings. What's actually going on? Was it the right decision? Is he feeling absolutely fantastic now? Maybe you're picking up on something and thinking, is it really true that he's doing well, or is he actually not doing well? Whatever the case may be, and that's what we're going to take a look at today. We're tapping into the current energy and asking the question, is your counterpart actually feeling good about their decision regarding you, about the withdrawal, maybe the isolation, the breakup, right? So let's take a look at that. Dear ones, a very warm and loving hello to all of you. Feel yourselves warmly and tightly hugged by me. And I am always so grateful to you for what you give me every day here on my channel. Your loyalty, your heartfelt and loving comments, your feedback, your perspectives, and how things are going for you and what has changed. I also keep hearing something I always find so wonderful, things like, yes, they got in touch, we arranged to meet, things like that. Or also when you say, no, I'm looking out for myself, I don't feel like it anymore. I won't let myself get hurt anymore, or whatever else it may have been about. Right? So, my dears, I would say let's get started. And I really hope that you're all doing well and that you're in a good mood. And if not, then I'm sending you lots and lots of good vibes right now, because there are always situations, moments when you just can't always be in a good mood. But a few happy moments, good feelings during the day are always really, really nice. So, let's take a look at what the situation is like for your counterpart, what the current state is, whether he feels good about his decision, about his situation right now, and as I said, especially when it comes to you, right? All right, so let's have a look. And then we'll look at the tendency in more detail. So, all right. Okay. We have, yes, the Wheel of Fortune right here. And it also shows that he wants something different. He definitely wants something else. And right now, time is extremely, extremely important for your counterpart, because a lot is happening here. And I would say, change. But a turning point is also shown here. And even if this specifically concerns karmic connections here, I also clearly see that these are still unresolved karmic ties and entanglements, but they are already at this very moment in the process of being gradually overcome. With your counterpart, if we look at the tendency here, we don't yet know exactly what's going on with him right now. But in any case, it's about the fact that he might currently be in a kind of paralysis, just like your own sense of powerlessness. But that's the issue he's dealing with right now, no matter how or what it's supposed to be, this powerlessness, this paralysis, and that he can break out of it and come into harmony with himself. Coming into harmony with yourself is a very big issue for your counterpart. There you go. So now let's see what we've got here. Okay. Yes, so the Tower, separation, withdrawal, right? So here, for some of you, we're talking about the collective. The collective reading may not apply to everyone. And the person cards are gender neutral. So their counterpart can be male or female. Yes, the Tower, conflicts. Your counterpart is completely caught up in a conflict. I'm curious to see what else we'll find when we dig deeper, what's really going on. But even now, there are already unpleasant situations. Again, we have changes, chaos, withdrawal, separation. And we have this stagnation once more, right? So yes, this is definitely a clear sign. That might mean something or indicate some unpleasant surprises for the other person. There's something here where he doesn't like the separation. So I'll put it this way. I don't want to go out on a limb here, but so far I'd say he's in a situation where he doesn't feel good about what he might have done. So it really does seem to be about a breakup here, because the breakup is now being shown twice. And a fundamental change is also being shown here. And your counterpart is already questioning their beliefs and is kind of in shock because something didn't quite work out. He avoids conflicts. Yes, he might be stubborn, but the pressure he's feeling inside is increasing. So I would say he does kind of want to get out, because this kind of collapse doesn't suit him. He really doesn't like it at all. And then we also have shadow sides here, and that's being shown there as well. Now this fits completely. Karma, the unresolved things, these entanglements, these issues, this what hasn't been resolved is now catching up with him completely, overwhelming him. And these are his issues. He is being confronted with them. These are the shadow sides he is now seeing, including his own shadow themes. And now he can't run away from them anymore. So his counterpart is in this situation. But it is also clearly shown through these shadow themes that this is truly the conflict that now wants to be resolved, to be dissolved. Karma is a very big topic. And the shadow sides, as I said, this situation he is in, he never wanted to look at it. He kept running away, and now it's really catching up with him. So I would say full throttle. What was given is now catching up with your counterpart. And he's not fast enough to run away again, even though when you run away, you don't want to look at it at all. So now we're genuinely curious to see how they're handling things after the separation, wondering how each of them is adjusting to being apart, what changes they might be experiencing in their daily lives, and how they're coping with this new chapter. Withdrawal? A very big topic, a conversation with his heart, right? The connection. That is a big topic. Your counterpart sees you. We are in the energy for you, what we have now picked up here from your counterpart. And it's about restoring balance, about bringing equilibrium back in here. Because that's the issue. It wasn't complete, that he lost something here. He gave up something here that he now longs for. The longing is there. The longing is being shown. Your counterpart is already more focused in this area, oriented towards achieving success, their own success. We have the ego, but also, yes, the ego is being shown, but also the mistrust. The mistrust, this withdrawal, difficulties everywhere, right? Yes, the little child as well. This stubbornness, crouched, sulking, and stubborn. We've already had that before, and now we have it clearly here once again, darling. And there is this fickleness that is also being shown. And fickle, if we look at the situation and the topic here, whether it was the right decision, how he is doing after the separation from you, the withdrawal. Yes, he is wavering back and forth. Head versus heart. Reason versus heart. Or rather, these are the old behavioral patterns that we also have that are supposed to be resolved, but there is still an attempt to hold on to them, and they are being confronted with that. Because your counterpart is this indecisiveness, this back and forth. On the one hand, yes, okay, what I did was right. On the other hand, the heart catches up with him again. The heart is getting louder and louder in the way it speaks to your counterpart. So then your counterpart becomes very closed off. In general, there is also this closed-off attitude. Maybe now you see or feel or notice reactions or actions from him where you say, wow, you don't know him like that at all, right? Very stressed. He is absolutely stressed by the situation. The question, as I said, how is he dealing with the separation from you? Not well at all. When I look at this reading now, I actually see that it is making your counterpart sick. It weighs on him. He is preoccupied with it. He is really stressed. He can't handle it. He has also withdrawn. Yes, he has withdrawn from you. Maybe also, as I said, as I mentioned earlier, he has broken off contact. But despite all that, you are still the central focus. Absolutely. Thoughts are with you. No question about it. But he is also but he has also withdrawn from you because maybe he had some issues like this trust thing. That's his issue. His issue is being able to truly trust. And maybe he also sensed that he wasn't really being completely open with you, and that's why he withdrew. But he still feels the connection to you very intensely, very strongly. And that really stirs up his emotions. Your counterpart, as I see it, yes, is already mistrustful about bringing all of this back to life again, right? Maybe he thinks or says that he has now let too much time pass, that the separation, for example, is already between you two, and he's totally stressed out by external factors. His past keeps catching up with him again and again. It's also the case, of course, that his determination, his drive at work, for example, plays a role, but it seems that he has seen you before. So I get this sudden feeling, this eye contact, somewhere he seems to have seen you, and then boom, wow. In this reading now, it touched his heart again. Well, we're talking about the collective, as I said, but I see this sudden moment, right? Suddenly some activity from you, he saw you, or he thought, was that it? Was that not it? And then it really triggered something in him again. Yes, doubts about whether that was even the right decision. We can see that very clearly. Then, yes, deep feelings. You are very determined. He also sees how determined you are in general, especially when it comes to love. Because your counterpart is already thinking about being determined towards you. As I said, it's like this. You're now at the point where he really says he doubts whether it was the right decision. Because every thought that keeps coming up for him about you really touches his heart. Because it brings real feelings of happiness like, wow, you know? And then the longing for what he misses. He misses you. But he's completely stuck here in the area of what he has done. And that is an absolute burden for him. Because that was not good. He also compared it to previous relationships that were not good for him, that went badly. But there are also really, I always say, in terms of his health, so internally, in his psyche, he's really not doing well there. And for you, in your direction, yes, there are truly absolute feelings. So not just feelings, no, it's really love as well. Because your counterpart is thinking about it, because he knows that what he did really hurts now. That he's doing well in this situation, no. Somehow everything has completely fallen apart. He's telling himself here, okay, I made that decision now. So ego, no, I'm doing it. That's the right thing. And this narrow-mindedness that we have here. But your counterpart is still clinging to the idea, no, it was the right thing to do, and I can't just give in a little and come back now or something. But that's really tearing him apart. He's going crazy because with you pulling back, he's already starting to doubt whether it was really the right thing, because he's telling himself, no, has it always been like this? Have I always done it this way? Will it always be this way? This kind of thinking, when it's over, it's over. If I withdraw, then that's what I do. And it's always been like that. And even back then, I tried again. It didn't work out, whatever. But right now, he just doesn't trust himself anymore. He doesn't trust himself anymore. The decision he made, the withdrawal, the way I see it with you two, it was a knee-jerk reaction. And here too, the attempt, all right, then I'll just leave now or meet someone new. That doesn't work either. Because somehow he just can't get into the flow anymore. This thing, like it always used to be, meeting someone new here and there and everywhere, doesn't work anymore because somehow Alan is always missing. He says he tries to get back to how things were a few years ago or so, but he keeps getting stuck because it just doesn't work that way, because he no longer has that drive, that motivation. Because then, let's put it this way, he says, okay, today I'm going out and I'll see. Maybe I'll meet someone new. So then he's just putting on his shoes, about to head out the door, and suddenly you appear. That is in his mind, in his thoughts. You show up. And then, just like that, everything is over again. I really keep seeing this interruption that your counterpart says, I'll get ready to go out again, all right. And then let's see, maybe we'll bring a beer or whatever, or a bag of chips or something, like comfort eating out of frustration. Or even really just going to bed because it's not good for him, since memories of you keep coming back. Because to some extent, it's also the case that when he has contact with someone else, male or female, as I said, collectively, it's like a guilty conscience keeps coming back. Because you're deeper in his heart than he actually wants to admit or wanted to admit, he is definitely not doing well. So I would say he tries to stir up everything again that he used to do in the past. Behaviors and activities with friends and so on, all that wild party stuff. It just doesn't work. That might work for a moment, even if he flirts or something. Hey, great, the ego gets a boost. Everything seems perfect. But then it's already over again. The bubble bursts right away because there's nothing there. It feels good for the moment, yes, but the memory is there. You're really stuck in those thoughts over and over again. I'm not saying you're caught up in it non-stop 24/7, but when you look at the ego, it does seem pretty close to that. Because the memory, the thoughts keep coming back to you because now he feels that what he did was really wrong. He's not doing well. And yet there's always jealousy. Maybe there's someone else involved. Or it's also like, as I see here, maybe a friend of yours or a family member who says, come on, forget about that loser and find yourself a hero, my child. And those are also the thoughts he keeps having. But when it comes to you, I see loving thoughts. Truly, his heart is touched and he knows that with you, something stable is possible. And he also says that he has now given something up here, given you up, which was absolutely a mistake. He has never experienced that before. Otherwise, whenever he broke up or there was a separation, no matter if you broke up with him or he broke up with you or if he withdrew, it was always like, yeah, all right. Maybe that's how it was all those years. That was an issue from his past. And he kept running away from it with this narrow-minded, stubborn attitude. That's how we're doing it, and that's how it's going to stay. And here we are again with the shadow issues, because now they're really catching up with him in a big way. And these are his issues that he will resolve, that are present now as well. The time is ripe. That's what we have here. The time is truly ripe to resolve these issues, and I see the letting go of the old, the letting go of him detaching himself from the behavioral patterns of the past. And now he is being confronted with it because he is getting it all at once, really intensely, because nothing works the way it used to anymore. And it's more like this, that can't be, right? So he really sometimes gets a bit confused or even angry, and then he walks around the apartment or something because he says, but it was always like this. You know, that's just not possible. Why doesn't it work anymore? Because nothing really works for him anymore. I'm also talking about his job. There are a few, one or two mishaps happening there as well. Your counterpart is lacking energy and drive, even if he might show otherwise on the outside. But let me tell you one thing, on the outside, he definitely presents something different than what's really going on with him. Because he's still trying to keep himself closed off. It's like this, he can't get out yet, but he will eventually. Because this is now, at this point, a topic, a situation for him that truly needs to be resolved. And he will, in his own way, solve the problem with himself, this conflict he's in. Because even with himself, with his relationship to himself, even there, he's at war with himself, you know? And that's the unpleasant surprise now, because he's not familiar with this. It always worked before, but now it doesn't. But leaving, or, you know, he always ends up quitting something again, because I keep seeing this sudden spontaneous break here. Or maybe he goes out for a drink or meets up with someone, but it can only be brief, because I always see these very short, you know, these short phases. Just for a moment, and then he's gone again. No, I'm tired. No, don't feel like it. No, work tomorrow. Excuses, right? Excuses over and over again. He almost forces himself to do it because he keeps desperately trying to get back what it used to be like. But that doesn't work. As I said, with him, I can see here that it's no longer possible to get everything back the way it used to be. Now let's take a look at the tendency in your direction, okay? Wow. Wow. So in terms of the tendency, this already looks really great. Looking at the tendency in your direction, we see that he will seize the opportunity. He will take advantage of the chance, because he will also come to himself, really address his shadow issues here, because they are being released. This burden is truly in a process of being let go, like a transformation that I can see. And he is right in the middle of it. So it's not like it's just starting or anything like that. He's right in the thick of it. As I said, the decay, the rigidity, right? But he is moving more and more into this realm of love towards you. It's really there for you. It has nothing to do with this woman here, okay? I only see the public aspect and so on, as I already mentioned. Because your counterpart is first going into healing, into reconciliation with himself, but also with you. And that's what he wants. He wants to do that because he knows he let go of the best thing there is. You were the jackpot for him. And he let you go, maybe even pushed you away. But your counterpart also wants to find fulfillment with you again, because he keeps feeling this love. He knows, or he hopes. Well, what does it mean to say he knows? He more or less hopes, you know, because he also doesn't know. Maybe there's someone else with you, right? Do you even still want him? Is there even still a chance? But in any case, he will seize the opportunity no matter how he does it. He will seize the opportunity because he wants to move toward healing, because he senses that nothing is the way it used to be, and that his heart, his love for you, is much stronger now and keeps growing deeper. So he can close himself off now. He can barricade himself inside his heart, build all sorts of walls around it, but it just keeps getting deeper. And every time he builds a wall or several walls around himself, the love for you just deepens more and more, keeps getting stronger over and over again. And then something always starts to crumble. Then another crack appears and something collapses. And at some point, he'll run out of strength to keep building these walls all the time, right? So he will definitely seize the opportunity because he can't completely run away anymore. But now he's processing his issues. He's now being fully confronted with his shadow themes. A shadow theme is running away and then not looking back, and this stubbornness, this pure no, you know, that's the reaction I keep getting from your counterpart here. Then the union is also shown here, really also the openness towards you, because he knows that with you there can be security, and he will truly seek closeness with you again, seek to be near you. And I also see shared activities together. So it really could be that your counterpart will say he'll invite you over now, or just not immediately like boom, bang, jumping straight into a relationship or right back into one, but rather building things up slowly with encounters, with meetings. This very relaxed approach where the circle between you slowly closes again. It's already indicated that your counterpart's intention is definitely for a committed relationship. But first, he's testing the waters to see if you even want that anymore. He's being very cautious about it. And the routine that may have existed between you in the past, you know, where there was a certain pattern, there's already a bit of a change to be seen there. But your counterpart is also becoming more open towards you, because he himself is starting to feel that openness within again. And as I said, he wants this togetherness with you, and the tension between you is also starting to dissolve. As mentioned, this testing the waters, slowly and cautiously approaching each other again, right? This checking to see if there's still any chance for him at all. if he might get another opportunity. But according to this reading, I do see that the connection between you two is being shown again as something for a committed relationship. As I said, the question is whether you still want that. But first of all, as I mentioned, he's not just going to show up at your door and say, okay, so, all right, what I did was crap. I love you more than anything. Do you want to start a committed relationship with me, a life partnership? So not like that, not so bluntly put, but rather in a much more cautious way. This time, it's all very careful, like, I don't know, going for a walk together, going out to eat, having a drink, just simply talking about something else for once. No idea, maybe a new kind of chocolate has come out or something along those lines, Or going out for ice cream, which also fits with the current temperatures in the season. Dear ones, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. I wish you all the very, very best and feel yourselves hugged. Goodbye.